On this episode of Gun Talk Hunt, we're talking with Todd Bonura of Maniacal Arms, and it's all custom guns in the wild.
Hey, I'm KJ, dedicated lifelong hunter here. If you got an interest in all things hunting, you're in the right spot. Whether chasing quail across the plains of Oklahoma or in pursuit of elk in the backcountry of British Columbia, you'll always find me on the hunt.
All right, welcome in all you Gun Talk hunters. I'm your host, KJ, and sitting to my left, you're right as you look at the radio dial, is Todd Bonura of Maniacal Arms. We're going to be started. We're going to do a 4-week series with Todd because I want to get I really want to kind of get into your mind and how you think because you think of guns a lot differently than like kind of the average guy does, I think.
Maybe. Sometimes.
He's the mad scientist of custom guns down here in Louisiana, and people send their guns to him from all over the country. Yeah. But I mean, it's awesome to see what he does to guns. I have a couple of his guns now, and I'm going to tell you right now, they are awesome. And he's all about precision. That's what I love about it. But this episode is brought to you by Timney Triggers, Ruger Arms, Loophole Optics, First Person Defender, Range Ready Studios, and Fab Defense. So thank you all you guys for supporting us out there. All right. So here's what we're talking about today. I'm getting better about getting you like information and getting you a list of like, I'm more organized when it comes to like submitting so you have an idea of what we're talking about. And we just don't wing it. Sometimes we wing it. Sometimes we go down these rabbit holes or side quest.
Yeah.
But here's what we're talking about. One, who is Todd Bonura? So you get a good idea of who you're going to listen to over the next 4 weeks. And then we're going to go into a field tip. And Todd's going to talk about moisture proofing your rifle for that hunt. And then our main topic is why the swamp is the worst and best place to hunt with a custom rifle. But I'm going to open that up to why hunt with a custom rifle. I know you're looking at going, I mean, is it always the best or is it always the worst? Like, so we're going to talk about that. And then our listener question last week with Brian Krebs of the Western Rookie, we talked about what's the gear you never thought you needed, but now you won't hunt without. Today's question for Todd is going to be, what's your nastiest hunt story? The one that made you think, why the heck am I doing this? So we'll talk about that.
There's been several of them.
I know, right? So we're going to talk about that. So let's jump into who Todd Bonura is. How would you describe yourself? He doesn't like talking about himself. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Like,
I mean, I always strive to do however I can be the best at whatever it is. Doesn't matter. Not always gonna be the best, but I feel like if you strive for that, then you're ahead of some or most, I guess.
How I will describe you. He is. I had said it already. He is a mad scientist when it comes to guns, but he puts the customer, what the customer needs are, ahead of his own. Like, so if the customer wants it, like that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That and because there's like two lines of thoughts on that, right? Like you give them what they need or you give them what they want. So I always try to suggest things that they may need, but it always does boil down to what they want. Yeah. But the end result is only one thing in mind, and that's extreme accuracy. It has to have that. It doesn't matter if it's a 10.5-inch AR build or an ELR gun,
You are going exactly, like, it's almost like you read a script or I sent you something, because I do want to talk about your extreme accuracy, because I get, usually once a week when he's working on a new build or whatever it might be, like a 22 Creed or a new 6.5 or a 6mm, he always sends me these like targets, and it's a piece of steel, and there's 3 like shots or 3 to 5 shots, like grouped all in one, and he says, this is at 500 yards with this new build. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, so most people.
Well, that's what excites me, though. That's what, you know what I mean? Like, it does, like.
I mean, and who said it? Who said, and I know I'm going to get butchered online for it, who said only accurate guns are interesting?
Larry Potterfield.
He said that?
Isn't it?
No way.
I think
No,
so.
I thought it was like someone like not that. I thought it was someone like a precision guy.
Or maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know why it seems like that too. Or maybe it was somebody
maybe it
on
was.
Brownells that said it.
Maybe.
I don't know. It seemed like that was in a commercial or something for a
only
while.
accurate guns are interesting, and all the
It's
guns that
true
come
to
out of
me
your
though.
shop
That
are interesting.
Yeah, I mean, even if I shoot a pistol, I want it to be a really accurate pistol.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I just things that go all over the place. Doesn't,
Right.
That's not.
So
And there's guns that out there that don't have to be custom that shoot good too. I mean, it's not always
we're gonna. That's gonna have to be a topic on one of these shows, because what you're getting out of guns today, out of the factory, and what a custom gun I think used to be 20 years ago.
Yes, and I think that ammo has contributed to that as well, a lot.
They're more consistent.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's a lot of the stuff that we're testing at the range when we do builds is with factory ammo. I mean, because everybody doesn't hand load. Everybody, so we want to build a rifle that's conducive to that a guy can go get off the shelf ammunition and still be where I feel like the accuracy should lie.
So that is an important note, is that when Todd tests the guns going out of his shop, because every gun is put through a series of tests that you hold above everything, you like accuracy is fun. You're shooting factory ammo.
Yes, always.
Always.
Always. I mean, my stuff, we'll test it. Even if I build something for myself, we still test it with factory, and then we'll move to hand loads. Or, even if a customer wants hand loads for that custom build,
It starts out
where we're checking the barrel, see what's up, just because, and now they're just making so much better ammo now. So
why is that?
companies are just more consistent. I think it's equipment. Like the stuff they're actually making the stuff with at the factory is dumping better powder measurements. The projectiles are more consistent weight. I think the equipment's come around.
Well, that's one reason why, it's hard for me to justify. There's a couple guns that I do reload for, that I know, okay, this is the formula. It works really well. And I'll be honest with you, your guns aren't those guns that I hand load for, because they shoot the factory stuff just as good.
And I've told guys that before too. They've came to me after a build and they're like, "Oh, this is how it's shooting." But I'm trying to hand load for this. And I'm like, well, why?
Why?
If it shoots that with factory, go buy 2 cases of it and sit back. I mean, on a hunting rifle, you know what I mean? That's
I'm really glad we don't have like reloading sponsors on this show, because they'd be like, "What are you doing?" They'd be like, "Are you kidding me?"
Well, and I believe there's reasons to reload for stuff. Certain scenarios that you're using a hunting rifle for, but and it kind of almost goes against the way that I try to build rifles is not that, technically for a hunting rifle, especially in the South, a sub MOA gun is, 1-inch shooting gun at 100 is killing everything.
Yeah.
I mean, the gun I grew up shooting, my first high power rifle never shot close to 1 inch ever.
Really?
Ever.
It was basically an 8-inch pie plate. If you can hit that at 100
hit that
yards,
at 100, yeah, you're ready
you're
to
good
go.
for the field.
Yeah.
But
because our shots are short.
You're hitting dimes. Would be considered your standard of excellent leaving your shop. You're shooting dimes.
Yeah.
Or less.
Yeah. I mean, even that gun that I shot all those years and killed a lot of animals with, that didn't shoot that way, it was still capable of killing, but I like it a lot better now that I accurized it.
Yeah.
Because now it shoots a lot better.
You took your old gun.
Yeah, I brought it to school with me, to class.
Really?
And accurized it because I knew what it did. And
yeah.
It's an old
that was kind of your
first rifle, first high power rifle I ever bought.
No
Remington 788 and 308.
Did you leave it at 308?
Yeah.
Really?
I'll never change it. I've just killed too much with it.
It's got time under you.
Yeah, it's got a sentimental thing to me. You know how much I paid for it?
Oh, let me guess. Okay. $250.
$100.
Oh my gosh. Now
and those actions are sought after too.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 9 lug. All the lugs are in the rear of the bolt.
No kidding.
Yeah, the front of the bolt's all slick. 788. It's old,
Oh, that's interesting.
real heavy duty.
$100.
Yep.
$100 for a gun that's going to shoot sub MOA.
Yeah, I was probably 20, I guess, at the time. So,
Really?
yeah, I splurged and put like a $45 Redfield
my
from
gosh.
Walmart on it. Yeah.
Well, you definitely you went the other way, complete opposite way of like doubling your optic price.
I couldn't afford to.
He's walking around there with in the woods with a gun.
Before that, I was shooting a 30-30. You know, a lever gun with iron sights.
Dude, that was my first deer I ever shot. 30-30.
Mine too.
Really?
Oh yeah, hog too.
Man,
I just recently bought another one, an old one that I'm going to fix
Really?
up because I want to kill something with one again.
yeah, I've kind of got that itch too, especially with all the new lever guns that are coming out. That I go, man, I need to just get back into. I need to go back to the roots and shoot at least one deer this year with a 30-30.
Right.
Because it seems so.
I said that last year and then I didn't do it.
You didn't do it. He's like, I'll take it. I like shooting longer distances than 100 yards. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's talk about moisture proofing your gun for the field. And how I kind of thought is how you prep for humidity. I mean, we're down here in Louisiana. It doesn't get any more humid than like you fellas up north.
Fortunately, wintertime is not as bad as summer, but
it's still bad.
Wet and
It's still
damp
bad.
and yeah.
Yeah. And like, so all the fellas up north, like if you're listening to this, you may go, well, that's not something I have to deal with. Well, if you travel further down south to hunt, you're 100% going to have to deal with this.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? Let's talk about two things. One, before the hunt, and then the next one during the hunt. So like storing your guns and everything else. What are your recommendations?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that moisture control here is a big deal, right?
It's everything.
Yeah. So, good cases, for transport and stuff like that. And then, I feel like a lot of times, even if your gun gets wet, that's okay, but you need to dry it good and get it oiled up before you put it back up. I've seen that a bunch of times where guys bring stuff to the shop. I don't know why this is rusting and stuff, but it's,
You know what's happening.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
and they know.
like my guns, even the screws and the scope bases and stuff are Cerakoted because.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
all
that's
that
where
stuff will rust,
where my rust usually rears its ugly head are the scopes and the bases, because that's the last thing you kind of start thinking about.
Right, because you just don't, because a lot of times the rings and stuff might be aluminum now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's not going to rust, but the screws are still steel. And they come black, so you just assume, that's,
Yeah.
But I can't tell you
It's
how many
worn.
times I've taken apart stuff and it's rusted.
And you're going, oh my
screw
god,
heads and stuff, yeah.
you're gonna have to buy new stuff. You have to buy new screws, new bases, whatever it might be.
Yeah. And
Just
then, too, hopefully it doesn't get rusted and locked in and stuff, where it's
So
harder to get out.
So if someone comes to you and they're in the South, they're in more humid climates, and they're looking to build a gun, what are you going to suggest they do?
Well, I mean, anything raw needs to be Cerakoted.
Okay.
For sure, 100%, And, even something simple like in the South, like when you put your guns up, if they're keeping them in the truck or whatever for a while, you need to run some oil down the bore too.
Really?
Because bores rust. I mean, you're not.
And that's something that you're not going to see.
Right. You don't see it till it's too late,
See, that's one thing. Like the Cerakote thing, I always thought it was like almost like, in some senses, it is a fashion statement. It's a look and it's an aesthetic, but we've talked about it before, and like how much it goes into protecting
the durability of it is, and the protection that it provides is second to none.
What about guys with like wood stocks and stuff? And this, like, how are these guys? dealing with it?
It's funny too because like all of them used to be wood, right?
Yeah.
Years ago, and nobody had big problems with them, or did we? And
I don't.
People that
For some odd reason, I don't think we did. I mean, do you oil it? Like, do you take some lemon pledge on there and just and do that every once in a while?
Every time I've ever changed barrels out on guns or something to a wooden stock, and we've had to cut some relief for floating the barrels on them, we always go back in and oil them a couple coats to soak in, try to get them as waterproof as possible.
God, it's interesting.
I mean, obviously the laminate stocks are supposed to not move as much.
But they're still going to move. I mean, especially in these
moisture
climates.
Yeah. I mean, our climate here, it's inevitable.
Oh God, it's been bad here.
But that's why it's important too to have it, make sure the barrel's floated, because if it's not and your fore end does move a tiny bit, you don't want it to
off.
Right. You don't want
accuracy.
Exactly. So you don't want it to be right there in that very thin margin, and then what?
Yeah.
And then it does move and it cause you problems.
Man, I'm going through like all the guns that I have in my safe now that I'm like, I hope they're okay, because, we've got I've got like 5 or 6 desiccant packets, like the big ones they throw in the crates in the military.
Yep.
I've got 5 or 6 of those. I've run a dehumidifier in there, which sounds ridiculous, but I mean, I try to keep out as much moisture as I can.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah,
for storage.
Yeah, and I mean, it's good to have a humidity gauge in the safe too. So every time you open it, you can see if it's in that optimal spot, because sometimes guys will just put stuff in there, desiccant or something, close it up, and then when they open it up, they don't realize if it's working or not. But if you have a gauge in there, that kind of gives you, the same thing like guys use with humidors for cigars. There's a gauge in there that tells you if you're in that optimum range of where that controlled moisture needs to be.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. It's interesting. All right. Hey, we're going to talk about, on the other side of this break, we're going to talk about why the swamp is the worst and best place to hunt with a custom rifle. But I'm going to add a little bit more to that. So we'll catch you on the other side of this break. Feel like your trigger's holding you back more than your ex? Fix that with the Timney Alpha competition trigger for the Ruger RXM. It's got a crisp 3-pound pull, no adjustments, no drama, just pure, smooth performance. It installs easier than IKEA furniture and comes fully hand-assembled, tested, and calibrated by real humans, not robots or over-caffeinated raccoons. Made in the USA and backed by a legendary lifetime warranty, yes, it will make you more accurate. The rest is on you. Tired of your range time being just mag dumps and Instagram flexing? Inner Range Ready Training Wear Director of Awesomeness and everything else, Chris Serino, turns keyboard warriors into actual warriors. Or something like that. Pretty dang close, I would say. Yeah, the guy's been there, done that. Pistol, check. Rifle, check. Yeah, we got it all. Force on force, we do that every now and then too. Bring your bruises, instructor development. Welcome to the Thunderdome of Learning. Looking for a rifle that's short, sharp, and way more precise than you on your best day? Meet the Ruger American Gen 2 Scout, the Gun Talk Edition. This thing's compact powerhouse, dressed in Cryptek Obscura Nox camo with a smoked bronze Cerakote finish like Tactical Fashion Week, but with more recoil. Chambered in 5.56 NATO or 308, it's got a threaded barrel, installed high comb, and the kind of accuracy that forgives your bad decisions. At least the ballistic ones. You can find it at guntalkscout.com. Hey, get your heads up. Heads up, right up here. Tactical treasure hunters, beware. Optics Planet just became your new favorite adult toy store for gear. Let's get that out of the way. Want scopes, red dots, night vision, and stuff totally you probably don't need but will absolutely buy anyway? Yeah, I thought so. Use promo code GUNTALK at checkout and get 5% off your order. That's right, 5%. Not 2, not 3, 5. Like the fingers you'll use to type that code in while pretending this wasn't my idea. So go to Optics Planet, check it out, enter code GUNTALK, and get your 5% off. Want to shoot like you've got laser-guided confidence and a spotting scope for a brain? You need the Leupold Mark IV HD. It's the optic I use when in competition, which means it's tough, crystal clear, and just pretty enough to show how bad your buddy's scope really is. First or second focal plane, you pick. Massive zoom range? Oh yeah, they got that too. It's built like a tank, but sees like an astrophysicist. And that's a lot. So go check out your next Leupold Mark IV HD over at leupold.com. All right, we're back with Todd Bonura out of Maniacal Arms. He's the founder, CEO, and everyday grunt over there. Right?
Yeah.
Rifle builder.
Yeah.
director of HR.
or yeah, all of it.
Do you have an HR department over there?
No.
No, but you shook your head yes. So I'm going to just say that, like, yeah, he is director of
Yeah,
HR
definitely,
and personnel.
Yeah.
You have a lot of hats you wear over there. I mean,
Yeah.
like, you have to be. You're kind of you're a one-man build shop when it comes to building your guns.
Right. And then I got a guy there that's painting,
And he does some cool stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
we just did some stuff this past week for a customer in Georgia. That's going to be.
Is it all Bulldog like related?
No,
Like, is he a big
no,
football fan?
it was a customer that a customer of mine I've built some rifles for called and wanted us to do a Glock for his best friend who's retiring
Oh, cool.
as a gift, of course, and he's retiring from state police, but he's already retired from Air Force.
Okay.
So we got a 17 and we split the gun in half.
Really?
If you look at it from one side, it's retired Air Force. You look at it, flip it over, it's retired state
Dang,
police.
that's
Yeah.
cool. What you guys are
It's a
able
cool
to do with the Cerakote process is incredible. Like, you've done one for me on Build Box, the show.
Yeah.
That I don't know how you hit that pattern, but we kind of had talked about, like, hey, this is kind of what I'm thinking. And then you took it and ran with it. And it was more than I anticipated.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like the aesthetic and functionality
Yeah,
of it.
the customer that we just sent this pistol to, he called. He was like, "Yeah, just whatever you think." And then I called him back, and I'm like, "Well, this is what we're thinking. I think we can make it work.
Really?
Does this sound good to you?" And he was like, "Well, yeah." And then, of course, when we send it with pictures and all, he's like, "Wow, that's." I mean, I kind of got what you were saying, but because we
until
did some
it's
laser
done.
work on it
Yeah.
and stuff too for the different sides and all.
Right.
Yeah, it came out
Yeah.
pretty cool.
All right. So why is the swamp the worst and best place to hunt with a custom rifle? And I know you're looking at that going, it's hard to answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's the worst place because it's so harsh.
Yeah.
It's so wet and muddy and murky and just dirty. But it's also kind of where a good custom rifle should shine as well,
Right. Because if it's custom, it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be more durable because you've taken the time and the effort to do what is needed to protect.
Yeah,
it.
and we try to make sure that too, that if a rifle's going to be for hunting and then it's going to be for or for competition, kind of two different bills there, right? Because it could be the same brand of components, but maybe a little different models of stuff like actions and all. Because like a hunting rifle, you don't want the action to be so tight tolerance that if it gets some dust and dirt and stuff in it, it doesn't want to operate for you. Same thing with triggers and all. You want something that'll take the harsh environment.
Yeah.
So we try to take that into consideration.
But what's one thing that guys sit there and they just don't think of when they're building like a custom gun for the woods? Because how I view it is, there's a lot of guys out there that'll disagree with me. If they're building a custom gun, that's a safe queen. She's staying in there, and I just pull it out when I want to like impress my friends. And I have the complete opposite look at that.
Me too. I feel like if it would be like a watch that costs $5,000. You should wear that every day.
Every day.
Not
Every
only
day.
to parties twice a year. You know what I'm saying? Like because you spend more on it, it should take more.
Yeah.
I think,
Well, it should. Like I'm telling you what, the 6.5 you built me, it's off of an Aero Solus action, which is a great kind of an intro action, but I take that thing everywhere. Like if I'm hunting, that's what's going in the field with me. Cause I know one, it shoots.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that you get a lot out of a custom rifle. Everybody thinks it's just these great parts, right? And these high end performance parts, but it's also kind of like you're getting a peace of mind, right? You're getting something that functions correctly, that is going to shoot good. Like a good buddy of mine had me build one for him, and he had this thing where every year he would miss like one good buck. Jeez. And we built him a rifle like 3 years ago. He has not missed a deer yet. And it's not that he practices anymore. It's that his confidence level.
It's up here in between the ears, man.
The confidence level that he has with that rifle lets him be calmer when he's behind the gun, because he's like, and then too, of course, we tell him, now the only excuse is you. You could blame it on that.
That's what's bad
that factory
about it.
gun last time, but now we all know exactly what the gun does. And
I'll tell you what, Todd, I've had those moments in the field where, like, if I miss or something, like, I convince myself it's everything else besides me.
right.
100%.
Yeah.
Factory gun, custom gun. If I miss, like, I'm like, well, your bag work wasn't really great that one, or, it's never like, no, that was just me.
Right.
Like, every time, like, we can talk ourselves like in a circle, but in the end, it is 90% of the time it's you. Like, but there are some like factory guns out there that you lose confidence in. One missed shot or anything like that, and you are second guessing that piece of equipment.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And I think guys could do that with a custom gun too.
They could.
Because it gets inside their head. But when they go to the range and they shoot it better than they have any other gun that they've owned, then that starts raising that confidence level up to where like, so this is what's possible. Now I am gonna aim small, miss small. I'm gonna pick this little spot instead of the side. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna just aim around this area.
Well, a buddy of mine's son tells me, you need to talk to my dad. His gun at his 30-06 is like 7 inches.
Did you
to
tell
the
him?
right
Did
of
you
what
tell
the
him to
scope
get with
is,
the
and
times?
he can't get it. He can't. It'll never dial over right. So he just aims 7 inches left of everything, and I'm like, what?
Are you serious?
Nate, yeah, but he does kill stuff with it. I mean, he's still
Tell him
successful,
to get with the times and offload the 30-06 and move into something that's a little bit more relevant these days.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all you got to do.
I know, but
Instead of
30-06 kills a lot of stuff.
It does, and I'm not trying to bash the guys out there that are hunting with the 30-06. I've got a couple, and they do just fine.
Yeah,
but my gosh, come on, like I just don't. There's so many new cartridges out there nowadays that I'm like, look at all these like wonderful offerings.
Yeah, and too, and it's like there's certain cartridges that would be considered old school that I always still believe that they have a place no matter what comes along, right?
Yeah.
And there's like 3 of those that stand out to me.
Oh, I'm gonna guess them.
All right.
I'm gonna say 30-06, 308, and 270.
That's the 3.
I knew it because I think the same way.
Because they are. They will always be relevant because there's a place for all 3 of those cartridges, no matter what. Like you could say a Win Mag is 300 Win Mags are old, but there's still a lot of people still use 300 Win Mag. That's always
the Lord's caliber.
Yeah. So, but those 3 calibers, man, it's hard to deny those. I mean, I seen a lot of shit die when I was stuff die when I was a kid. That was
God, I'm telling you, they do make a lot of good stuff, and I know we're gonna get into all that. But again, we're jumping in to your listener question. So I want you to answer last week's question.
Okay.
So what's the one piece of gear you never thought you needed, but now you won't hunt without?
And it doesn't have to be related to the gun.
No. Any piece of gear that you're like, oh my gosh, like this is such a good piece of gear. Like everyone should carry
Top quality rain gear.
Okay. So what are you wearing? Like what do you like? Do you go with like a Frog Togs and just like throw something in your pack, or are you
First Light?
Oh really?
Yeah. Or I had KU. I had a KU set for a long time.
I'll tell you what those Alaskan hunters up there, what they're like all that Healy Hansen stuff, like the stuff that's like really made for it. And then they also, I forget what they are, but they're like using rubber rain gear because it comes down from every which direction.
And and I guess really like in the South, because it's usually warmer. Mm-hmm. So I feel like rain gear that doesn't
like breathable.
Yeah, because if we wear the older school rubber stuff, here you just get wet from sweating it anyway.
Lose so much weight.
So you end up wet anyway. You might as well not wear it.
Yeah. That's true.
But I feel like good rain gear is hard to beat. I mean, it's just.
That's true. That's a good point.
I mean, if you're in the stand and it's only going to rain for 40 minutes, and you're either going to get down and end the hunt, or you just bear with it.
And in like places like Louisiana, you never know when that storm's going to pop up.
I keep rain gear in my truck all the time. It's behind the back seat headrest.
Yeah. Because like I can go to, because like when I go to Oklahoma, usually like I can look at the forecast and go, okay, I'm pretty sure that is exactly what's going to happen, so I don't need to carry it with me. But down here you're right.
It's sunny for 6 hours, and then all of a sudden a black cloud rolls over and dumps on you for 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then you're soaked.
Yeah, and then you're soaking wet sitting there, and it's hard. It's hard to finish out like that.
I like it. All right. Hey, and for these listener questions, if you hear one and you want to chime in, just reach out to kj@guntalk.com. I'm happy to hear your questions. We'll answer. We'll read it here on the show. We'd love to hear from you guys. Engage a little bit more. If you hear any topics that you're like, hey, could you explain this? Like, man, if I don't know, I'll find out from somebody who does, and we'll answer it right here on the show. All right, this week's question. All right, if you guys are ready for it, here it is. What's your nastiest hunt story? The one that makes you think, why am I doing this?
Oh, man.
If you want to think for a second, I can share mine. And mine is very recent, and it is disgusting.
What is it?
All right. So alligator hunting.
Right.
Like, one, it happens in like some of the hottest time of the year. So you're driving in a boat. That's not bad. I can deal with that. Like driving in a boat, you get the wind blowing on you. But it comes after the harvest. Like, say you have these nasty creatures in the back of your truck, and then you're figuring out, because there's not a lot of there's not processors that'll just take them whole.
And they're not easy to process either.
No. So that's where my nasty story comes into play, is that, so the first time I went alligator hunting, we got a 6-footer, we got a 5-footer, and then we had a 7-footer. So we got all 3 of our tags, and me and the next door neighbor decided, well, let's just process them right here, like right in the front driveway.
Right.
And I live in a neighborhood, and it is a nicer neighborhood where there are cultured people.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Right.
I mean, you know how.
Yeah, I've been there before. I've been in your house.
And so we're sitting in the front lawn, and we've got these like cheap like tables, like plastic tables, like you'd have at bring at a picnic, and are just beat up. And we're cleaning, and we start cleaning very early at like 1 o'clock. And then 2 o'clock comes around, and all the school buses are making their rounds. And so now I've got we're sitting cleaning alligators, and there's a whole lot of kids just looking out the windows going, oh my gosh. Like, hey, are you seeing this? Like, what are they doing? And we got crap everywhere.
Right.
And I had a decent pair of shoes on, because I was like, how hard is this really going to be?
Yeah. Right.
So by the end of the night, and if you're shipping out your gator hides, like you have to get all that meat and everything off the hide. So our idea was to power wash it off.
Yeah.
Well, my neighbor, he lives like, I think it's like 0.65 miles away from my house. And he goes, have you smelled the neighborhood?
Yeah.
And
they're pretty nasty.
I go, I think that's us. He goes, you have to be kidding me. So he drives the car around, and he goes, oh my gosh, you guys have to take this elsewhere. He's like, this is the most disgusting thing I've smelled.
Yeah, they're really dirty animals.
They're dirty animals.
Yeah.
They stink because they don't take baths. They can't
lay in the mud.
That's all they do.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is the nastiest point in which I said, I am never doing this again. And last year, true to form, we drove our alligators to the nearest processor we could find, which was 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Would do that every single time, because as far as nasty hunts go that make you question why am I doing this?
Yeah.
That was it.
That's why I have a skinning shed at the camp. Everything goes down there and you just rinse it off.
Yeah, and then you can throw it in the river, and then everything else will eat it.
Yeah.
Like next time, I'm coming out to your place and cleaning those suckers, because I don't think my neighbors could stand it. And I had to throw away every single pice of clothing.
They're bad. They're really bad.
Nastiest thing I've ever had to do.
Yeah.
All right, what's yours?
Man, just this past year, me and a buddy of mine run a trap, for hogs, and he was gone on some hunting trips and stuff, so I'd been keeping it baited, And these hogs have been coming in maybe for 3-4 weeks into this trap, and it's one of those net, the pig brig traps, and we finally set it on a Friday. We're like, oh, we're going to set it, and of course, nothing gets in it, right? On or we set it on Saturday morning. Nothing comes in it Saturday night.
Of course.
So we both stay up to camp, and we're like, something's going to come tonight. Well, it storms all night, and we catch like 5 hogs in it, of course, right?
Yeah.
You got there the next morning, it's still mist and rain, and it's about 8 inches of hog slop, in the trap. And the only way in it is under, so you got to shoot them first from the outside and then get in there, and they're slippery. You can't get them loaded on the trailer. It was pretty rank.
And you're going, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like, what am I thinking?
And then, of course, now it's Monday morning, and we're supposed to be at work. It's noon before I get to the shop because we're skinning hogs, and it was dirty, nasty. We're like, why did we do this on this day? But that's kind of it.
I mean, we do it because we do love it, and we will continue to do it. But man, there are times when I'm out there going, why did you do this?
That morning for sure, I was like, I don't know if this is going to be worth it.
You're like, probably
2.5 hogs,
All right. That does it this episode. Remember, we're doing a 4-week series. This is week 1. All right. So join us next week, and don't forget to submit those user questions or answers or whatever you got to kj@guntalk.com. Go check out Todd Bonura at Maniacal Arms. Where can they find out more?
Maniacalarms.com is a website. Maniacal_arms on Instagram.
Go check out
Facebook.
His Instagram is awesome.
I'm horrible at it. That's like my Achilles heel.
He says he's horrible at it, but man, everything he posts,
just not good at posting stuff.
It's art, man. Just do it more often.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's tough finding the time.
Yeah.
All right, Gun Talk Hunters, that's it for Gun Talk Hunt this week. You know the drill. Keep those muzzles pointing in a safe direction and always be on the hunt.